Yes?
Laforge, Monsieur Lockwood.
Come in.
About the carpet, monsieur. There are two ironies to all this. First, his funeral procession just passed below. Monsieur Lockwood, I hope you'll pardon a practical note, but couldn't we simply have the carpet clean? It seems so extravagant.
I want it replaced, wall to wall, understand?
Such a little bit.
Replace it.
Oui, monsieur.
Laforge,
Monsieur?
I'm putting you in charge of our Paris office.
What can I say? What can I tell you?
Nothing. Just don't end there. I keep asking myself, why?
10 million francs. Such a shortage. Is it not cause enough for a bullet in one's brain?
No. That's too high a price to pay for one mistake.
He was an emotional man, monsieur. He was terrified of what you might do when you learned he had gambled with company money.
I said there were two ironies. The second one is this. Someone told me something once, Laforge, I never forgot. She said there are people who have a taint in their destiny. A kind of pursuing fate. She called it a repetition compulsion. But then she was always good at phrases like that. These people seem marked to destroy others, no matter what they do or they don't do. At least that's what she said. For them, every human relationship ends the same way. Their protégés desert them in ill will, and their friendships end in treachery by their most trusted friends. Their love affairs, they end in betrayal of what they want more than anything else. Love.
Who could be so unfortunate, monsieur?
Écoutez, madame, pour la dernière fois, je vous demande de sortir de cette voiture. Cette voiture appartient à monsieur Lockwood. Si vous ne sortez pas, je vais être obligé d'appeler la police. Allons, madame, soyez... Cette voiture appartient à... Laissez-moi faire appel à votre... Je vais faire mon travail si vous ne sortez pas tout de suite. Votre bon sens, sortez de cette voiture.
What's the trouble?
Shall I call the police, monsieur?
Why?
Madame, she will not leave the car.
Madame?
Out of nowhere, she appeared, opened the door, slipped inside. I have explained this is monsieur Lockwood's car, but she will not listen.
Hello, Peter. This says you flew from New York for the funeral. Did you?
Yes.
It was nice of you.
You've been in Paris all this time?
Paris, Berlin, Stockholm. My passport is nearly as well stamped as yours.
May I buy you lunch?
I'd like that.
I won't need your gas, and I'll drive myself. You're looking well, Claire.
Thank you.
Is he with you?
Yes?
Working in Paris?
Yes. That is, he was.
Everything's all right for you, huh?
Don't men always ask that question? Are you happy? Is he making you happy? After 5 years, Peter, I should have expected something better from you.
And I, something gentler from you.
Sorry.
Everything is fine, then,
Nothing's fine all the way through.
isn't it?
You don't still hate me.
I never did. Thank you.
We've been moving around so much the past few days, we really haven't had time to eat. You look tired, Peter.
Oh? I always thought I was so imperturbable. Wasn't that your word for me?
Both of us then had many words. I suppose that's all they were. But you still have everything. Your branch offices, oil wells, tax-free dollars. You never knew what I went through at Christmas or your birthday. After all, what do you give to a husband who has everything?
The only thing he ever really wanted.
You know that's not fair.
If you'd been a little less clinical, less the welfare worker among the poor millionaires, and a little more...
More what?
more loving.
Oh, Peter. You can't say that. You know I loved you. I loved you so much it hurt. Then I even loved the hurt of knowing how much I loved you. What could I give a man who didn't need me?
Claire, please. Why'd you get in my car? What'd you come to say?
We have to get back, Eugene and I, back to the States. But unfortunately...
How much do you need?
Eugene was writing a travel book for one of the New York publishers. That's how we happened to be in Europe.
Oh? What's he call it? I'll have to look for it.
Well, he didn't finish it. Of course, they gave us an advance, but that ran out.
I ask you how much you need.
It isn't just the money. Apparently, it's impossible to book passage for the next week because of the tourists. There just isn't a plane or boat that's free.
Well, book a sailing for whenever you can. I'll take care of it. In the meantime...
We can't wait. We have to leave immediately. Today, tomorrow. Nothing can be done without contacting. You have lots of them, Peter. I'm sure you can get us on something.
I see.
Will you?
Where are you staying?
Saint-Germain-des-Prés.
Don't think I know it.
It's on Rue Bonaparte. Peter, don't play games with us.
You think that's what I'm doing?
I'm sorry. I just don't think anymore. I'm not so sure of things anymore.
I'll tell you what I was thinking. You always used to ask me, remember?
I remember.
I was thinking of these 5 years since you went away. And the 16 trillion times I'd carefully rehearsed what I'd say to you if I ever found you again. Then you told me that too, didn't you, Claire? That I always calculated things too much. Destroyed them in advance. But you're wrong. I didn't see our meeting like this. I really don't know what to say. I know what I want to say, though. I want to say, Claire, I've missed you. All the places and all the people. Nothing could take your place once you'd gone.
Once I'd gone.
Now I find you again out of nowhere here in Paris. But why? So I can send you away again? So I can be alone again?
I'm so sorry.
I'll see what I can do about the tickets.
Thank you.
I'll bring them around as soon as I can.
It can't be that indefinite.
I'll bring them this afternoon. Saint-Germain-des-Prés?
Yes, Eugene will be waiting.
And you?
Well, I may be out.
I want to see you again, Claire.
There's so many last-minute things.
I don't care if Eugene is there. I want to see you again.
I must hurry.
I'll drop you.
No, please, Peter. I don't think we should be seen together again. Thank you.
But Claire... Addition. Eugene Stengler.
First room on the right upstairs.
Thank you. Stengler isn't in his room.
Not in? See, he must be. His key is not on the hook, and I have not left the desk. I would have seen him go out in any case. In the cabinet.
No, it's occupied.
It's strange. He never goes out.
Never goes out?
Not since he came last week. I take him his meals in his room.
Is he sick?
No. He simply never leaves his room. Not half hour ago, I took him his lunch. You are certain he is not asleep?
No, I looked in his room.
The door was unlocked.
It was unlocked.
I am astounded. He keeps it locked and bolted at all times.
Well, I'll just wait.
If you wish, monsieur. Over there.
Thanks.
If I should see him, I'll tell him you are here.
Oh, if Mrs. Stengler calls in, tell her I'm here, too.
Madame Stengler?
Yes.
But there is no Madame Stengler.
What did you say?
There is no Madame Stengler. Monsieur Stengler, yes. But a Madame Stengler, no.
Mr. Lockwood.
Yes?
Perhaps you'd prefer to sit.
I don't believe we've ever met. Harvey Dembro, Major, U.S. Army. Shape headquarters. How'd you know my name?
I've had you under surveillance all day.
We're using majors for that now?
This is rather important. Allez-vous-en. First, let me put your mind at ease. We're certain you're not involved in it.
Involved in what?
Oh, come now. Do I look like the kind of person who enjoys sitting around third-class hotel lobbies? I sit here because I have to talk to you. I have to talk to you because we think you ought to know what you got yourself involved in.
Are you one of the cloak and dagger boys, Major?
G2. Maybe you'd like to know why Mrs. Stengler is not staying here with her husband. Why she's staying by herself at the Stockholm Hotel.
And you can tell me?
I can tell you.
Perhaps you'd better come to the point, Major.
First, what did Mrs. Stengler ask you to do for her at the Café de la Ronde?
You were there? I think I better ask you why G2 is so interested in Claire and her husband.
We just happen to be. Except that, for the moment, they pulled a very clever stratagem on us a few days back. They separated and went in different directions. We never lost the girl, but Stengler managed to give us the slip. It was obvious after a week that she was not going to lead us to wherever he was hiding.
But she did lead you to me.
And you to Stengler.
Well, it all ties up very neatly, doesn't it? Except where's Stengler?
Gone. He undoubtedly saw me follow you into the hotel. That was very careless of me. He probably got out over the roof.
That really must be annoying to you.
Don't be so ready to leap to his defense. Stengler doesn't deserve any sympathy. Believe me. He's a criminal of the most despicable sort.
Then why didn't you pick him up when you could have?
Let's just say we wanted to see where he'd go.
I don't like the man, but I can't believe he's a criminal.
I should think you, of all people, would be the quickest to accept the facts. 5 years ago, didn't he steal your wife?
There was a time, Major, when I would have killed you for that.
That was a cruel thing to say. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
It's all right.
You see how thoroughly we've checked on you, Mr. Lockwood? We know you flew in from New York last night to clear up this little problem in your Paris office. We know a great deal about you. Princeton 38, weren't you?
You seem to have all the answers, Major.
Not quite. For example, what did Mrs. Stengler ask you to do for her? You know, I was Harvard 31. There's no reason we can't cooperate, is it?
I just can't believe that Claire could be mixed up in anything.
She may not be.
And what has Stengler done?
In today's world, Mr. Lockwood, he's committed the most heinous crime of all. He's betrayed his country. He's a traitor.
Claire? Claire, it's Peter.
Are you going to ask me in? I'm not the psychologist you are, but I'd say your surprise is showing.
How did you find out I was here?
I don't think that's a real issue, do you? The answer's quite simple, but let's keep it in its proper place at the end of the line.
I've been calling your office. I've been frantic.
I'll bet. I've been walking in the rain. It's not true, you know, about wind and rain and wet feet giving you a head cold. On the contrary, they clear the head.
I've been calling you to tell you something I should have told you this morning. Something important. I'm not going away with Eugene.
You mean now or never?
Don't ask me that, Peter.
I've already asked.
How can I even think of the future? Everything's a matter of hours now, just hours. The future, I don't dare let myself consider it. Somebody's following me. Eugene is in trouble, real trouble. That's why I asked you to take care of the passage. I told you it was for both of us. Actually, it was only for Eugene. If I were to join him before he got safely out of Europe, they'd follow me to him. I know it sounds preposterous, doesn't it?
Who could be following you, and why?
There's only one thing to do now. Do you have the tickets?
On the Pascal Queen, one of our freighters. She casts off with a change of tide just after midnight.
Midnight?
Good 7 or 8 hours from now. Plenty of time for him to get to the dock.
Thank you. They must be sent at once to Gare Saint-Lazare and care the consigne. Eugene felt it was too dangerous to call me again. He's waiting near the station.
I'll take him over now.
But you can't. You're being followed, too.
Oh? How do you know?
When Eugene called, he told me he'd seen someone following you to his hotel. That's why he ran out before you could get to his room.
Why don't we simply confront our pursuers? We might learn something from them, or we could inform the police.
We can't. I told you Eugene is in serious trouble. The police would only complicate matters. I don't know what it is, Peter. That's the truth. It started a few months ago in Berlin. Eugene wasn't getting anywhere with a book he was trying to write. He thought he'd failed me. If someone gets an idea like that, there's no talking them out of it.
I know.
Then all at once we had money. Oh, not a fortune by any means, but a good sum. Eugene said it was from his publisher in New York. I don't think he expected me to believe him. All at once we were running. First to Vienna, then here to Paris. Someone's after him.
Evidently his benefactor. Didn't you ask him about it?
He said he'd uncovered a black market operation. A group of people who were bootlegging restricted American materials to communist countries. Whoever it was knew he had that information. They're the ones who are after us.
Is that all?
Oh. Peter, you don't know these people. Human life to them is nothing. If they catch him, they'll kill him.
Have you ever seen these mysterious pursuers, Claire? I mean, seen them for yourself. Or is this all Eugene's idea?
He said if we got out of Europe alive, he'd turn the information over to the proper authorities. Sell the inside story to one of the newspapers and magazines in the States.
But you're not going with him.
Not while I'm being followed.
I asked you a moment ago, do you believe him?
I don't know.
If you believed him, Claire, you would have insisted he go to the nearest U.S. embassy for sanctuary. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't have had to insist. He would have gone by himself. What do you believe?
I believe that Eugene became part of the black market gang he speaks about. They're now trying to kill him. That's why he's running.
What if that's not the case? What if the authorities want him?
Why do you say that?
Can you be sure they don't want him?
No. Only one thing matters to me. That he's on that boat. If Eugene did anything wrong, he did it for me. We've been living on next to nothing, don't you see?
I think so.
He needed me, as you never did, Peter. All the way across Europe, I held him close and tried to give him courage.
Because a man needs you, Claire, doesn't mean he's worth your loving.
You don't know what he's really like. He's a gentleman, kind of dreamer. But he's a frightened man.
Awesome.
Get his tickets to him.
Be careful, Peter. Remember, you're being followed. I'm putting his life in your hands.
I don't think you understand. I want him saved just as badly as you do. Possibly even more.
I know you do.
I want you out of this as of this second. Pack a few things and take a cab to my apartment, 14 Rue Chanson. And wait for me there, will you?
Yes.
Sergeant. He's been up there longer than I thought he would be. He may try to duck out. If he does, follow him. Call me if he settles anywhere.
Yes, sir. Air the line, Major.
Oh?
From here on in, you and G2 can go it alone.
She was that convincing, huh?
Let me remind you, Major, the lady in question was once my wife.
That sounds Victorian.
Goodbye, Major.
Lockwood, you willing to stand or fall on your own judgment? Apparently you approve of treason.
I'm no different from any American. I detest treason, but only after it's been defined to me.
Well, has it never been so defined for you?
Yes, many times, and each time differently. If you're George III, the American colonists were traitors. If you were a colonist, Benedict Arnold was one.
You know, you disappoint me. I would have thought that you, of all people, would want to cooperate with your government.
I still don't know what Stengler was alleged to have done.
Don't you think I'd like to level with you? Do you think I enjoy this close-to-the-chest business? I'd like to be able to say, look, Pete, here's the real scoop in this case. But I can't.
Why not?
Security measures won't permit it.
Well, let's look at it this way. Maybe the evidence against Stengler is faked.
By whom?
How would I know? I haven't heard the charges against him yet.
Look, if I can get a clearance to tell you, then will you work with us?
Work with you? How?
Help us find Stengler before he manages to slip out of the country.
Sounds reasonable. Suppose we meet in my office tomorrow morning, say 10 o'clock?
Fair enough. Incidentally, there's one thing I must insist upon, silence. I know it sounds bureaucratic, but in this business, it's vital. You're not to say anything to anyone. Understood? If you need to call me, here's a private number. One of my men is on duty round the clock. Keep it to yourself. That, too, is maximum security.
I doubt I'll have any reason to call you, Major. Till tomorrow, then?
Till tomorrow, Mr. Lockwood.
Bonsoir, monsieur. Cigarette?
Jacques.
Tu vas quit?
Tell me, Jacques, you still work the same hours here?
Ah, possibly you wish to hire Jacques again, Monsieur Lockwood.
Yes, but this time a different job.
Uh-huh.
In just a moment, I'm going to put a 100,000-franc note on the bar. When you refill my glass, take it. It's yours.
100,000 francs. But, monsieur, what must I do to earn so much? Kill an entire family?
With a note, there'll be a ticket. A boat ticket. Take it to the consigne de Gare Saint-Lazare and leave it.
And that is all?
That's all.
And the money?
It's yours. But I want that ticket delivered within the next half hour, no later.
Monsieur, the next drink is on the house. May I fill your glass?
Yes, fill it. This is a drink I've been needing for 5 years.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Brandy, please.
Oh, sorry, monsieur, but I am finished for the day. Brandy pour monsieur. Bonsoir.
Night.
Bon, tu trouveras l'argent ici. Quant à toi, je te pique à la sortie, hein, mon petit chou. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
I don't suppose there's any point in asking you how you found me.
None. The point is, I did. I got the clearance.
What clearance?
How do you like that? I knock myself out, I cut through red tape, and he sits there and says, what clearance? Stengler.
Oh. Oh, yes.
Is that all you got to say? Marianne, one of your très enchanting songs, please.
Merci, monsieur.
Before I tell you what we've got on Stengler, I'd like to ask one question. What story did Mrs. Stengler tell you?
Stengler doesn't even know you're after him. He thinks it's a black market gang whose activities he's uncovered.
Is that what she told you?
Yes.
about the black market activities. Restricted goods going to communist countries. That's not my department. Maybe those boys are after him. Evidently, Stengler believes in having more than one iron in the fire at a time. I'll just give you the essentials of why we want Stengler. Somewhere along the line, while he was in Europe, he contacted a civilian employee of CIA, a German. From this man, he managed to get a top-secret document. A military document. It's no exaggeration to say that it's the hottest single intelligence item we have in NATO.
Well, what is it? Or is that where this fascinating little story ends?
It's a list of names. The name of every important intelligence contact or agent that we have in Europe. The significance of such a document can't be lost on you, Mr. Lockwood. In enemy hands, it would destroy the network of listening posts that we've spent so many years in building up.
You mean Stengler's a spy, an agent for a...
We think he's a seller of information. No national allegiance involved. The highest bidder comes first.
You've corroborated this?
Not entirely. We only got wind of it a month ago. We tracked it back to the German and CIA, but before we could get to him, there was a convenient fatality. He fell off a platform in Munich. There was an oncoming train. So we haven't got a complete documentation yet.
Well, what if you're wrong?
Apologies all around.
That's pretty easy talk.
But we're not wrong. We've got the right man. To be more exact, you've got the right man.
Me? I don't know where he is.
But I suspect if you told us all you know about him, we'd have no difficulty in picking him up.
I have to talk to my wife about this. Mrs. Stengler, that is.
Papa.
Oh, Mariette, another one of your songs, s'il vous plaît.
Bien, monsieur.
Why is that necessary?
Because she put her trust in me.
So has your country, Mr. Lockwood.
Well, then there's my own personal code of ethics.
Love thine enemies?
Why should I have to be the hatchet man?
You know, I'm sorry for you. I used to feel the way you're feeling now. But sooner or later in this brave new world we've built, the time must come when each one of us must abandon the illusions which we held in our youth regarding our fellow men. A time when we must all realize how much suffering has been caused by men like Stengler. Mr. Lockwood, conscience does make cowards of us all.
What if it's the wrong man?
What if it's the right man? Thank you, Marianne.
Merci, monsieur.
I don't know. I just don't know.
It's the girl, isn't it? You're afraid you're going to lose her if I arrest him.
I lost her once. I don't know if I could stand it again now if there's a chance.
The same man stole her once before. By letting him escape, you ensure the fact that he's going to do it again. Remember, when we went to college, we studied the works of the poet Heine. One thing he wrote I shall never forget. As a matter of fact, I have it printed. It's hanging on the wall of my office. Would you, like to hear it? Mine is a most peaceable disposition, wrote Heine. My wishes, a humble dwelling with a thatched roof, a good bed, good food, milk and butter of the freshest, with flowers at my window, and some fine tall trees before my door. And if the good Lord wants to make me completely happy, he'll grant me the joy of seeing 6 or 7 of my enemies hanging from these trees. True, one must forgive one's enemies, but only after they've been brought to execution.
There's a boat ticket waiting at the Gare Saint-Lazare with a consigne. He's picking them up now.
What time does the boat leave?
At ebb tide, shortly after midnight.
Claire!
Come away from there.
What's the matter with you? You act as though you thought I were going to jump.
I wasn't sure you'd be here when I came in, and I saw you leaning so far out the window, it just startled me.
Quite the contrary. I was breathing in all the new freedom out there. Freedom you've given me. It's almost 11. Eugene must be on his way to Le Havre by now.
Yes, I suppose so.
It would have to be. Nothing happened, did it? Peter?
Of course not.
You did get the tickets to the consigne?
Before 9:30. I had someone deliver them. Someone they couldn't possibly suspect.
Oh. I've been so terribly wrong about so many things. I never stopped loving you.
And what was Eugene? Kind of sabbatical?
Now that he's free, I can tell you. I thought I loved Eugene because he needed me so much. What I feel for him now, I know isn't love. It's really pity, I suppose. I'm glad you know.
Maybe I'd better answer it. Hello? Just a moment. I'll take it in the other room. It's the office. Just take a minute. Where are you calling from, Major?
I'm still in Paris.
Then you picked him up.
Oh, no.
Why not?
Because he's obviously about to transfer that list to a customer, probably in Le Havre, before the boat sails. We want to know who that customer is. You've done your country a great service, Mr. Lockwood.
Never mind the citation. I feel rotten. Claire's on cloud 9, and me, I'm virtually counting my 13 pieces of silver.
Don't look at it that way.
How should I look at it?
You've done your duty.
That's a big help.
All right, I'll ease that sensitive conscience of yours. I put 2 officers from G2 and a man from CIA on the train with Stangler. They're almost looking over his shoulder. You may have saved his life.
What do you mean?
I mean, Stangler is lucky that we're getting to him before his friends do. We spotted other people following him, too. As soon as he turns over that list, they probably intend to kill him.
Look, Major, I'm counting on you to see that doesn't happen.
Don't worry. It won't. And remember, this is still top secret information. You're not to say anything until I give the okay.
To you.
What kind of a toast is that?
Best one I know.
Let's...
To you.
What kind of a toast is that?
Best one I know.
Let's drink to something else. Let's drink to whatever it is that pulls the strings. What makes people do the things they do?
No. We don't drink to that. We pray.
All right. Then let's just drink.
All right. You never forgot, did you?
Forgot what?
What I told you about the dark, pursuing destiny some people have, the talent to destroy others.
No, Claire, I never forgot. Look at me. I'm a perfect example of it. Everything I touch either turns to money or destruction. Money for me, destruction for others.
No longer. See what you've done tonight? But there's something else you don't remember. Something far more important. How much I liked onion soup.
Les Halles.
Yes. I wonder if that little place is still there.
It always used to be very shameful to me that a girl could take a honeymoon trip around the world and then rave about only one thing, onion soup in Paris. That's why you left me and ran off with that writer fellow, so you come back here and get some of that good onion soup.
Mm-hmm. You know, already a miracle's taken place. You can laugh about it.
Pardon, madame. Pardon, monsieur. Faites attention, c'est très chaud. Oh, ça, c'est la meilleure soupe à l'oignon de tout Paris. J'ai mis beaucoup de fromage dedans. Vous n'ayez pas peur. Ajoutez encore un petit peu. Les femmes aiment bien ça, le fromage. Oui, oui. Bon appétit.
Just doing what the man said.
Heavenly.
Good.
You better eat your soup, darling, before it gets cold.
Darling, do you realize you said darling?
Did I?
You know you did.
Well, I suppose you never quite forget the husband you love. The old words are just there. They never went away.
You know, a lot of things that seem gone are back.
Mm. But the wrong things must never come back. Oh. When I think of the money you used to spend on me for clothes and furs.
Well, why not?
This past year, I've had 2 new dresses. This one and another equally as equal. And furs. Do you know how I kept warm in Berlin?
Potato soup?
Mm-mm. We found a large homeless dog in the street. We fed him what we had, and he stayed with us. I just sat next to him all the time. Believe me, he had a finer coat than in any salon on Fifth Avenue.
Well, that's all over now.
Didn't you remind me?
Paris Soleil. Écrivain américain trouvé mort dans le train.
J'en prends un, ma petite mère. Un écrivain américain trouvé mort dans le train.
Oh non, du gâteau.
Let me see what else.
Eugene. Dead? Killed?
Mais monsieur, ne m'avez pas payé. Merci, monsieur.
I wish I could cry, but I've no tears left. I failed him not only as a wife, but in this, the most important thing.
Claire, you mustn't let yourself feel that.
Such a simple thing, and yet so much everything. Just his life, Pete. That's all he asked of me, and I killed him.
It isn't true.
It's true, it is.
It isn't, I know.
You don't know.
I'm to blame in a way much more than you are.
I don't understand.
I don't know how to tell you.
You know something about this I don't?
Eugene was a traitor. A spy.
Spy?
He'd stolen a secret document from NATO files. He was trying to sell it to our enemies. All this stuff about the black market was lies. All of it. Claire, you can't let this rest on your shoulders.
There's more to it, isn't there?
No, that's it.
I mean more about your part in it. You were involved in it. How?
Don't think what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
That I betrayed him.
Did you?
Actually, I tried to save him. Major Denbro's men were all around him, and even they couldn't.
Major Denbro?
G2, they were watching him. Surely you don't think I deliberately set him up for somebody else to get him out of the way?
I can't bring myself to believe that Eugene could ever be. I just can't.
Would you believe it if you heard it from Army intelligence? From Major Denbro himself? I'm here to see Major Denbro, G2 section. My name's Lockwood.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
No, but I'm sure you'll see me.
This way, sir.
Thank you. Sit down, please. I'm here to see Major Denbro. My name's Lockwood.
Party named Lockwood here to see Major Denbro. What's it in reference to, sir?
If that's his secretary, have her tell him that I'm here with Mrs. Stengler.
He says just tell the Major he's here. He's got a Mrs. Stengler with him. Right. Down that corridor, you'll see his name on the door.
Thank you. Claire, we can go in now.
Peter, before we go in, is there any doubt in your mind
Doubt?
about why you turned Eugene in? Was it a sense of duty or something else?
I prefer Major Denbro answer that. Why don't you let him tell you the whole story?
Mr. Lockwood?
Yes.
Just a minute, please.
Claire, please.
I'm sorry, darling. I know you've done the right thing.
Can I help you?
Well, actually, I want to see Major Denbro. I prefer to talk to him directly.
I'm Major Denbro. Now, what is it?
Is there another Major Denbro?
Not to my knowledge. I'm the only Major Denbro at Shape, or anywhere in the U.S. Army, as far as I know. What's the matter? Is something wrong?
No.
Claire! Claire! Major Denbro, there's something I must tell you, something you don't know.
Step in my office, Mr. Lockwood.